Ooh, that's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And welcome to the penultimate pit stop on our August vacation theme month. It is the Rugrats episode that is just simply titled Vacation, but it's most commonly known as the Vegas episode. Yeah. Dragon, this is a big one, man. Like, we've been talking about doing this one for at least a couple years now.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Co Gios in the comments saying, I watched Rugrats as a kid, but I can only recall certain episodes. I don't think I remember this one. Regardless, I hope that you have a really fun stream. Go Gios, I can safely say that for both Dragon and I, this is a seminal Rugrats episode. Like, this is one of the big ones. Dragon, did you have the VHS?
You know, it's the darndest thing. I'm fairly certain I did for the nostalgia we're gonna get into. I had to have had that VHS tape. So yes, I'm like almost like I'm like 90. I'm 90% certain I had that VHS tape.
I know for a fact I had that VHS tape. Do you remember what other episodes came on?
I do. Yes, I do. Okay. Here's the other two episodes. Why I'm convinced I had that.
Right.
Been forever. I mean, the only reason I've rewatched this episode so many times, I had to have had that.
I think, honestly, with that VHS tape, I honestly think it's fair to say this is the Rugrats episode I have seen the most number of times.
Okay, so there's the main feature, which by the way was double length. That's the whole thing. Usually Rugrats are segmented into 11 minutes, so this was the full 22. And then you had the other Great Vacation episode, which I kind of wish we would have been able to work in, but we went with the
There's next year, man. There's always next year. You know, Nickelodeon's got a lot of good vacation content. We couldn't cover it all.
The Grand Canyon.
Oh yeah.
And then Ice Cream Mountain.
Ice Cream Mountain. That was the other big nostalgic one for me.
I'm a sucker for miniature golf, so yeah, I read.
Oh yeah. So, suffice to say, Dragon, I mean, we've just got freaking mad nostalgia for this thing. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, like, the internet is just kind of turning into just sort of like a nostalgic sort of like, okay, like, let's just reminisce about the good old days. And folks, that's exactly what we're going to do today. Dragon, I know that you've been to Atlantic City a couple times. You never did make it to Vegas, right? Monkey's asking about that.
I did.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can definitely have more sort of like on the ground sort of how it compares to the real thing, because I have never been to Vegas. The closest I've been to Vegas is Reno. And Kermit, I don't want to go back to Reno.
You've been on the outskirts of Molossia.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly. So yeah, I do remember when this episode came out. It was very much like I wanted to go to Vegas so bad. But my parents were like, nah, you wouldn't like it. There's not a lot to do for kids. And I'm like, but it looks like a freaking, like, oh my God, based on this episode, it looks amazing. All right, well, we could wax poetic and nostalgic about it all day. Yeah, as far as the why don't they air it, I mean, the Siegfried and Roy thing is definitely probably part of it. I imagine the bigger part of it is just, frankly, they do not want to pay the rights to that song. Because this episode is not on Paramount Plus. I don't know about you, Dragon, but I had to track it down on YouTube.
Yeah, I found it on YouTube as well. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Well, like I said, I truly do think that it's just like they have that song in there, and I don't know, licensing is a bitch when it comes to streaming.
Yeah, but then, like, let me ask you this: do you know if the movies are on Paramount Plus?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I mean, specifically Rugrats in Paris, but
Oh God, yeah, Rugrats in Paris. I owned that soundtrack as a kid. Okay, well, let's just dive into it then, man. Unless you have any other kind of like pre-ramble to go off of.
I mean, just briefly, so something to note again. So this is, I believe, is in '97, so we're like in season 4 of Rugrats, so kind of prime Rugrats territory. Again, this one had, I can't verify this. This one had to have been made with like the VHS in mind in terms of like, okay, we're going to go not theatrical, but we're going to go kind of the next best thing. This is kind of like, again, kind of more of an upscale. Like it feels like direct to video, but in a good way in terms of like, it just feels unique in that around this time you had the Rugrats doing holiday specials and stuff, and those are the other things that really broke the mold in terms of like going beyond the usuals, kind of like 10 to like 11-minute episode, because you had the Christmas, the Santa experience, you got the Mother's Day episode, those are big episodes, the Hanukkah episode, Passover, etc. So we've kind of done these events. So this feels like at the very least an event piece for the Rugrats and pre-movie. So it's kind of
I definitely remember Nickelodeon was hyping it up, like there were a ton of commercials for it and everything. It was definitely an event.
I want to take a moment to bask in some additional nostalgia. I mean, Tiki, don't you remember the VHS advertising on all the Nickelodeon?
Yes.
You'd always have like the Rocko's Modern Life, like all like a little bit like you had like the clips and everything. It was like all the Nicktoons they were trying to push at the time. Probably Rocco, a little bit of definitely Rocco, Rugrats. That thing. It was kind of like it was the Hey Arnold. It was kind of the period like outside of the core three from the beginning, but before SpongeBob's. It was like right smack dab in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I know Rugrats is one of the core three, so that was kind of the exception because usually you're watching a Rugrats tape, so that doesn't really,
Sure.
ties in the other stuff.
And anyway, of course, those glorious orange VHS tapes.
Oh yes. I can't remember it, but I have to assume this tape was also orange.
Togias, is it included on the full series? I don't.
It's gotta be. Right?
Is it?
I mean, on the DVD, really, they have to, because this is an episode in season 4. I mean, the other holiday stuff that counts as episodes, so this must count.
Yeah, I don't. I just know that this one is hard to get a hold of. So, okay.
It's funny though, even though we couldn't regularly. I mean, tell me this: when you pull the episode up like I did, you remembered it to a T, didn't you?
Oh my God, yes. I was expecting as much, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, that's honestly why I'm not too upset about not having access to the subtitles or anything. It's like, yeah, I pretty much know this thing like the back of my hand anyways.
Oh, yeah. So I guess let me give you one bit of like skim with the Vegas connective tissue.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm definitely curious about that.
So yeah, I went to Vegas. I can't place the exact year. I'm pretty sure it was either 04 or 05. I'm thinking 04.
Uh-huh.
So this is right after the. So
you definitely weren't old enough to gamble at that point.
No, but I was walking through the casinos. I wasn't, I got a little bit of the Rugrats experience on that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, actually, there's like they had like the I don't know, like they don't have it now, but back then, I guess I don't know if it was pure like just timing or if it was like a regular thing they had that then they got rid of. The Star Trek experience, they had that.
Oh, the Star Trek experience, yeah.
See, I would have loved to go back in time because as a kid, my grandmother loved Star Trek. I did not.
Uh-huh.
So she loved it, but I just did not quite. I think I would have appreciated a lot more now.
Of course, yeah. I mean, that thing was, from what I remember, I don't know a ton about what that thing entailed, but it was pretty much like I do know that there was an effect where it's like you were in a room and then suddenly you were on the deck of the Enterprise. Like a room transformation or something.
I think there's like a bar section that looked like like the bar from Next Generation. It's pretty much Next Generation that was predominant.
Okay.
Which again, my grandmother, she loves Next Generation, so she was like happy as a clam, I'm sure. And anyway, so point being, I went to Vegas around that point, which is like a year after the Siegfried and Roy accident. Which, by the way, for what we're talking about here, that happened in 03, so it's 20 years since.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, they were celebrating tragedy here on
Oh yeah, it's not.
But
I will say that there is one or two moments towards the end of this thing where it's like you definitely have to do a little bit of the Simpsons like collar tug, like ooh,
a little bit. Yeah, again, this is like way before it actually happened, though. But
sure.
You gotta see the seeds of it, though. Like, you know what? In hindsight, there might be a little bit.
It's almost kind of like how everyone was joking that the crocodile hunter was going to get killed on the job. You know what I mean?
Well, I wasn't.
It's like it was almost an inevitability at a certain point with that career path.
Sure, I just mean the fact of like, you know what, these tigers, they might not be happy performing tricks like this. You know, maybe they're gonna get a little ticked off one day. Who knows?
Oh, holy hell! Oh my, Rob, this right here, Dragon. Can't forget that
Yeah.
nostalgic Paramount video montage set to the Happy Days theme. Oh my god.
Well, we already had like that. What was it Flight of the
You,
Navigator?
Rob, you literally just unearthed like I have not thought about that in decades, and you just unearthed that. Good job.
I keep being, here's the thing. So here's a big piece of nostalgia from that. Every time I saw that, and I still to this day, I've never watched the movie. I think it's called Flight of the Navigator. It had like I believe it had like, I forget if the Henson Company did the puppets for that or no, but it was essentially was this.
That was one with Rubens, right?
No, I think you're. I don't know. I mean, I don't think that was him because there's a Paul Rubens. I think he's the robot in that Space Camp movie.
I could have sworn he was a. Let me look it up.
It might. I think there's one with aliens and one with like the kids going to space and they have a robot. And I don't think the one. I think Flight of the Navigator is the one from the Paramount thing.
No, it was Flight of the Navigator was Rubens.
Okay. Do you know if aliens are in that or if it's a robot?
I don't. I think he is the voice of the spaceship or something, and that's how he got the job as Rex.
Maybe that's it.
But looking at the wiki, yeah, it does look like aliens are involved.
Okay, I think that's what I'm thinking of then. So I'm pretty sure that's like in the Happies. Like that was like enchanted me as a kid. Like, what is that? I want to see that. And of course, I was always when I eventually watched Happy. He's like, oh, that's where that song's from.
We also have Itchy Lot Productions in the comments. I assume he's saying it was in confirmation to this episode being on the full series VHS or DVD set, so that's good to know. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, let me see, where was I? But yeah, went to a whole bunch of places in Vegas, including some very similar parallels to this Rugrats episode, oddly enough, which I had seen before. Probably before going to Vegas, so it's kind of funny how that worked out. Okay.
Did you see Treasure Island by any chance?
No. Well, here's the thing.
I think by that point, the show had already been turned into that stupid burlesque version of the show.
Yeah, here's the thing. I did tour the casinos.
I'm sorry, I'm just picturing like little 12-year-old Dragon touring the casinos.
Right. Anyway, yeah. So I was touring the casinos and looking at the stuff, and it was like one of those things where like, the casino I stayed at, which I'll tell you when we get to the episode. Which one?
Oh, okay.
The casino I stayed at was like one of those things where it's like, this is nice, but man, I wish I was going to these other really great casinos we were walking through, like the hotel.
Right. Yeah.
Like, the Luxor was amazing. The Luxor, like, man, I wish I could have stayed at the Luxor.
The Luxor is definitely one of the hotels where if I ever did go to Vegas, that I would want to check out that lobby at the very least.
The two impressed me most is the Luxor and Caesars. Anyway.
Okay, come to think of it, Monkey says, come to think of it, how much secondhand tobacco were the buried babies experiencing this episode? Probably quite a significant amount.
Well, you can go back to like the first season of Rugrats. They had smoking in those first couple seasons.
That's true.
Can't get away with it now, but we did then.
Okay. All right, so you're ready to just jump on into it?
Let's do it.
All right. Also, Monkey says you might be thinking of Explorers.
I'm going to look into it after we do this.
Okay.
The curiosity is just killing me.
All right. So we literally dive right into like copyrighted music.
Yeah, the vacation song. This is like an end-all be-all montage. There's a lot of stuff going on here where it's exciting kind of the exciting home
Dragon,
video.
When this episode came on, I truly think this episode was like formative in my love of travel, and I think this song definitely has something to do with it.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. You have like it exudes like exciting home video, packing montage memories. Just like, we're packing, we're going on a trip. It's like the passport thing from I think I forget if it was European Vacation or not. As much as I put down that movie, that I think that one opened with the montage like we're stamping the passports, which Rugrats in Paris kind of borrowed from a little. But yes, the fact that like look at this merry brew of Class Biguspo characters, and they're all getting ready to venture out, but again on much more achievable pastures.
Angelica packing the cookies.
Always very memorable, and for me, the most memorable aspect of this whole montage. I know you must have had this too.
Can I guess?
Yes, you can.
Is it just the RV in general?
I mean, no, the RV's cool, and I love the RV.
We're gonna geek out about that.
I know we're gonna
RV. You know we are.
Yes, we are. Let's talk about something else, though.
Okay, go ahead.
Tommy losing the little plush tiger on the front lawn. That was
I mean, that's a great kind of it's a very easy setup for his motivation, the episode. But yeah, it's nice.
But it's that thing we're always talking about. It's losing the totem of childhood innocence,
Exactly.
That cherished item in the movie, and that we're never going to get it back. It's like, oh no, there's a kid that really cut me to my core.
I could see that. Yeah,
the little tiger. It looks so sad about it.
But the interesting thing is that like you said, there is a lot happening in this montage, so it's they don't really dwell on that.
I mean, I think they give it some significant kind of visual service there, but you're
Uh-huh.
right. It goes by anyway. So we're in Stu's driving this RV, which is super nice. And
Let's talk about the RV, man. This RV.
This is the coolest RV.
Dragon, we spend about 3 minutes in the RV, the episode, but it left such an impression on me as a kid.
This is the second greatest RV ever, and technically that other RV was a Winnebago more so. So it's the Breaking Bad RV kind of,
I mean, let's just face it, that upper layer where the babies are at, that little staircase that leads, doesn't that just look like the most fucking comfortable little area ever?
It does. It's highly impressive.
You and I are comfortable little spots, right?
It's such a terrible idea, but I love it. You know what it reminds me of? It's like the bookmobile, practically. You remember the bookmobile, don't you?
Was that a Scholastic Book Fair thing?
I mean, I don't think it was exclusive to Scholastic, but I mean, yeah, I guess technically.
I don't remember the bookmobile.
Library, usually your local library would have a bookmobile that I guess they would take to the school sometime. The kids get on the thing, and it felt super cozy when they take you around, try and sell you on books.
I definitely don't remember this. It might have been an East Coast thing.
Maybe, but look into the bookmobile, Tiki.
Okay.
It's such a charming concept. Of course, now I'm sure it's highly antiquated and probably problematic from a certain viewpoint, but it's delightful.
Anyway. Itchy Lot says this special made little kid me want an RV.
It's such a nice thing. It's so spacious. It's irrationally spacious. It's almost like there's no way you could fit all this in an RV. RVs I know are designed to be
Monkey says that upper level, bro. Honestly, Dragon, what really does sell that upper level for me is the staircase leading up.
I know, right? The staircase. I think it's carpeted.
Plus,
you have this.
All right, folks, we're just gonna spend the next 30 minutes just dissecting every little detail of this RV.
Yeah, but seriously, how great is it though? You have the upper level of the babies, and below that you have all the adults, and as we go through the wants of both groups. Plus, you have Angelica in the foreground. It looks great.
It's honestly a perfectly composed shot. It really is.
Giant bay window view of the of the Vegas lights and everything. So both parties can enjoy. Again, when you think about how tall this thing is, I don't know if that works, but it looks cool.
Exactly. And then it's we really don't waste time. Literally about a minute into the episode, we're in Vegas.
Yeah, so something to mention too. We kind of set up the goal, and we explain what a vacation. Angelica explains what a vacation is through kind of the spoiled child vein of vacations when you get everything you ever want. Essentially, anything you want on a vacation, you get because you're the kid. Let's see. So, we have Lou. Lou has this great bit. Lou says, "I haven't been to Vegas since the 50s. I won 15 jackpots in a row." Then Drew interjects here, saying, "Well, Mom said you came home with everything, but everything except your underpants."
And I just really quickly want to acknowledge just the animation Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Lou says, "Oh, what does she know?" I don't.
But that thing about that bit right there is the fact that it's like, hey, a man obviously loves his wife, but also loves griping about his wife. He's a little bit like, what did she know?
Let's see. There's a potential epic rap battle pairing: the Thornberry's Convy versus the RV. Oh God.
To be honest, no one's gonna beat the Convy. The Convy's gonna destroy the RV.
Yeah, I feel ya.
Here's the real rap battle, though. Okay, Breaking Bad RV versus the Convy.
Oh, I think the Convy still would win, hands down.
I don't know.
I think this RV would win over the Breaking Bad RV, in all honesty.
Come on. I mean, look, I know it's...
Is the Breaking Bad RV really that comfortable, though, Dragon?
No, you're right. That's what I'm saying, in terms of comfort, but then you have iconography, though. That's the thing.
Right, as far as iconography, but I'm just saying as far as, like, an actual vehicle that you would want to own.
Plus, I had character, too. You don't have character. This is just delightful comfort.
Right.
Okay, this is cozy on wheels. Okay,
it is.
Imagine if they had to swap for the trip, though. God, imagine that.
Okay. Vacations. When you get anything you want, the Walt Disney World Fast Passes beg to differ. Indeed. I imagine they skipped over a part of the drive where Chucky was scared by the Cabazon dinosaurs. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. And yeah, like I said, Dragon, I just want to take just a second to just acknowledge how freaking pretty and well animated just the streets of Vegas are with all the lights and everything. I mean, we really do. It's a very detailed little shot that we get. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
All right. So we set up the stakes, Dragon. What are the stakes of the episode?
All right, so the stakes are, well, I guess the goals here. Angelica wants to sing on stage. Let's see. The babies essentially, they kind of ride past. Oh, look, it's Heimlich and Bob, with the white tigers at the Rainforest Casino.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to, basically, Tommy says, "I know what I want to do. I want to pet those kitties."
Now, Dragon, when I say stakes, I do genuinely think that this episode has a clever setup where it's like the babies achieving their goal ultimately probably is not very good. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. Yeah, there's definitely.
So it's like it's like you want to see them succeed, especially with the setup with the plush tiger, but at the same time, you're like, no, that cannot end well.
By the same token, though, again, there's kind of a weird retroactive thing with this episode, where, of course, post Siegfried and Roy.
Well, yeah, that too.
God, the stakes, the danger. I mean, the parents in the Rugrats are already terrible parents for the most part. So
I will say, Dee Dee does have one moment that I'm curious to get your take on.
We'll get there.
Okay.
So, anyway, but yeah, so we have that. Let's see. Stu wants to surf. He's going to regret that.
A recreation of the Pacific Ocean in the lobby
of the Atlantis Hotel. Sorry.
Yes. We should probably point out some of the kind of parallels to the casino. So, of course, the Siegfried and Roy show is in the rainforest, which is obviously meant to be the Mirage. I feel like that's a pretty straightforward one for one. Any other like big casinos that we pass by until we get to our main screen?
The ones we passed by, I couldn't really get a good read of the signage. I think one of them was somewhat pirate themed, which is probably Treasure Island. Probably. The other one,
Betty does mention skydiving off the Eiffel Tower, which is probably like, I imagine that's like a combination of actually, do you know if the Stratosphere was even around back then?
That I'm not sure of.
Because the Stratosphere is definitely
famous. It goes around like the Empire State Building and everything. Not the Empire, the Statue of Liberty and everything.
Oh, that's New York.
Okay.
The Stratosphere. When was the Stratosphere made? I'm trying to look it up. The Stratosphere is like the big, like kind of like Sky Needle Tower, and it is pretty well known for like you can skydive off of it.
No, I had no idea about that one. Anyway.
Oh yeah, actually that's funny because it It was built about a year before this episode came out, so it was probably a pretty topical thing. It was like the new hotness in Vegas. All right. Okay, Itchy Lot says, what is the Viking Hotel supposed to be a parody of? Dragon, I have my ideas, but what do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I think the one-to-one assumption is that it's probably like a parody of, Caesar with the Romans, but with Vikings. I think that's the assumption I always made. And
I
that's
think
really
it is definitely Caesar's Palace for sure.
Yeah.
But I also think with the boat, we have to throw in a little bit of the Venetian in there as well, because the Venetian famously has the gondolas going through the lobby.
Yeah, that does make sense. I forget if I think I rode one of those once. I think when I was in Vegas, because I think I went to the Venetian. I can't. I had to because I think I was in one of those boats. Okay. So no, it wasn't certainly in the real Venice, so it had to be.
right.
Anyway,
I do think that Epcot, would it really be that hard to just open a gondola ride that just goes out into the lagoon and back? I don't know. Anyways, all right.
So let's see. So again, they have this gag too where Chucky says they're kind of big. Oh, it's the TV. It just makes them look big.
Yeah.
All right, so we go to the Viking Hotel, and then we have this giant Viking. Like, I would be paying with pigs, with plastic or pigs.
That is one of those lines that is just ingrained in my memory.
All right, so we have this big Viking boat, and of course, the moment I saw this thing, I was thinking of that drum setup we have later, which is great.
Of course.
Let's see. So then we have the babies at the pool area. The pool area is really nice. This little setup.
You know what else I didn't realize is that there is a meme, a Rugrats meme, about where it shows like the four dads in the pool, and it's like that moment when you realize that you are now the adult in the Rugrats. And that is from this episode, and I never realized that.
Our buddy Laser Dude's going to be in that exact same position.
Oh, God, yes. He's
going to be the dad in the pool. All right, let's see. So, so the point being, everyone's in the pool. The moms saddle the dads with the kids. Betty says, they're heading for Circus Giganticus. Now, was it Gigantus or
Circus Gigantus? I think. Yeah.
Wait, no, it's just Circus Gigantic. Maybe that's what it is.
Okay. Obviously, that's a pretty easy 1-for-1 with Circus. I'd say that's actually probably the most 1-for-1.
Okay, so here's fun fact.
Okay.
I stayed at the Circus.
That's actually what I was going to guess. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. So
now, wait, you stayed at the Circus, and you're saying that there were other hotels that were like neater, but Circus, you did have the Adventure Dome, though. You didn't appreciate the Adventure Dome?
I don't remember much about the Adventure Dome. I gotta be honest, because here's the hotel itself at Circus was a little deflating compared to all.
I've actually heard the hotel itself is pretty run down.
That's the thing. I was kind of more swept up in like how deflating that was. I don't even know if I think the dome was maybe advertising like you had a little motel TV, little hotel like TV programming kind of thing. Maybe they mentioned it there, but yeah.
There is a Circus in Reno as well. It's one of the few hotels that I can think of that there's like a replica of in Reno. Although Reno, it's like there's no Adventure Dome in Reno. All right.
So let's see. The point being, the dads are saddled with the kids, which I think a little irresponsible of the mothers considering how much trouble they get into, especially in the
a little bit, just a little bit, right? Yeah, just a little bit.
Yep.
Although I do like Betty's characterization as a thrill seeker.
Yeah, I forget. Betty had like a really good line about like something about them having to watch the kids. But I'm blanking on what it was.
I do not have access to the closed captions, so
I know that, but I think it was like something like who's ready to enjoy the joys of fatherhood. Something along those lines. Anyway, so then the fathers are like, "Well, there goes our fun."
Also, I just want to quickly acknowledge I love Phil and Lil's little furry water wings.
Well, they all have furry water wings.
Oh, right, yeah.
But the Viking water wings. All right, let's see. So then we have so Drew. Drew suggests they do it. No, it'll be fine. We'll do it in shifts. I call tomorrow. Chaz calls the next day. So
I want to quickly point out that Howard horsing around with Stu in the pool It's probably about one of the biggest bursts of his personality that we get in the show, which isn't much, but it's still like, hey, look, he's having some personality there for a minute.
Yeah, he goes skiing with Chaz later.
Right.
All right, let's see. So then we have Stu and Lou in the pool. They've been saddled with the kids. And God, I gotta tell you, man, I miss Joe Lasky so much because this is my favorite role of his. Honestly, I loved him as Grandpa, and just this whole. I love the characterization here where he's like, no problem, but he sees that the casino is calling to him. And I love there's an arc with him with the casino that pays off wonderfully in this.
Oh yeah. And also, my grandpa is very much, a casino man. And so I very much relate to Grandpa Lou in this episode in that regard.
And
I very much see my grandfather in him.
Had a lot of nostalgia too. My grandfather, he loved going to the casinos when in Atlantic City, but especially in Vegas. He loved the whole the free drinks. When
yeah,
and everything, all that. Loved the comp, the idea of the comp.
Anyway, so did my grandpa.
Yeah, but everyone says, "Oh, it's fine. We'll just go to the casino. No kids, Pop, and they won't let kids in the casino, Pop. Well, let's just go to the buffet." And he's like, "Okay, sure, fine." All the machines are probably rigged. And an old man runs out.
I'm rich. I hit the jackpot.
Then Lou just kind of disappears on him.
See
ya. So Stu is going to this.
This is very much an I've lost control of my life episode for Stu.
Yeah, it's not as kind of direct and to the point, but yeah, it's pretty much like he's
no, but we still do have some pretty good humor with Stu and Angelica as a comedic duo.
We do. We have a lot of that. It's funny when you go back to the first episode of the Rugrats. It's like Stu's like, "Oh, hey, hello," Angelica's all friendly to her. Then ultimately, it's the endless nightmare. If you think about it, if you ever just go back and see, man, he was really nice to Angelica in that first. It's almost like that '60s Batman thing where if you really pay attention, Batman hates Chief O'Hara.
Oh, right, yeah.
He just secretly hates him.
God.
Anyway. So let's see. So we have this. So we go to Tiki. We go to a Vegas style buffet, and
yes,
Tiki and I are food animation junkies.
Oh my lord! I mean, Dragon. Listen, if we spend the time to go through every single food item in this buffet and how good it looks as far as the food animation, we're literally going to be here all day.
There's one thing we should mention though.
Okay.
And because of the hotel they're staying at, again, just the fact it's a Viking feast. It's a Viking style buffet. Like, dear God, that's a great idea.
And I do think that Caesar's Palace is probably, from what I can tell, that has one of the best buffets.
You got Chucky drinking like the milk fountain. You got Phil like eating a pineapple.
Will, you're supposed to eat the raisins.
Yep.
The food buffet discussion could be its own video. It really could.
Tommy has a thing for pasta. If you remember the episode like Grapes of the Rugrats, baby, the waiter, there's a baby in my soup.
Yes.
Because Tommy falling into the pasta. He's got a thing for that pasta. All right, let's see. So then Angelica.
Also, Monkey points out the lady's big smile, and I really do like that a lot. As he says, it could be memed, and I like the lady's big smile is just like it's clearly just like a service worker just having to put on a happy face, even though they're kind of not really thrilled with their job.
Favorite little creepy detail with that. You hear like the inflation of the smile.
Yup.
Okay, so we have the buffet. Angelica's, of course, at the dessert table. And then she's, "What am I doing? I want to be a star." And she's singing. Basically, she's going the full Lucille Ball here. And she's just singing into like a chocolate. Was it a chocolate covered banana or is it like a ripe banana with like brown stuff?
Let me see. I want to say it was a chocolate-covered one.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it's a chocolate-covered one, yeah.
Chocolate-covered banana. Anyway, so Tommy, he's got a snacking with like the bone from like the steaks and everything. We got a snack for the kiddies, which, oh, dear God, again, there's the danger again. Like, oh.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, let's see. So then they realize, wait a minute. Again, it's the kid logic, the illogical kid logic of the Rugrats, where they're seeing the kitties in quotes here. It's like kitty, like Sully is a kitty from Monsters Inc.
Mm-hmm.
The kitties are in jail, and like the kitties can't do bad stuff. And again, it's the irony.
Little do they know. Little do they know.
Oh yeah. All right, let's see. So we're gonna free them. Gun ho attitude, that Tommy Pickle. So the kids head to the boat. They have this gag where they're kind of bouncing on the drums, making them like a row faster.
Well, really quick, I love all the tourists like getting off the boat and storming the buffet.
So they have the babies bouncing on the thing, making them go faster, which is funny.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's a question: how the heck did Chucky get on like that rope that's around the mast?
I have literally wondered that the entire time that this episode has existed.
Like,
I'm pretty sure that was a cut to commercial as well.
It's got to be like they had to have, they had to cut a sequence out or something, like how the heck he got up there, because like they're all on the ground level. How the heck does he end up like hoisted up that far? Plus, they're all the Vikings are like just rowing.
Right,
No one's hoisting. It's an indoor thing. They don't even need the hoist. Anyway, so Tommy's Tommy's leading the charge, and Chucky's like ah, and Stu is in a panic. He's just like, Angelica, we'll get in this. He grabs her while she's singing, and of course distracted with her. The babies have gotten away again. Oh, Stu. Anyway, Stu says, "Quick, let's get in this little boat." I'm not getting in that boat. And then this
pretend it's a game.
Stu, this is you gotta learn some new games as this boat sinks like a stone. Because again, do we have giant grown man, little child, small boat? It's an equation that never adds up to buoyancy.
It's 4:00 in the morning. Why on earth are you rowing a little boat into a Viking ship hole?
Because I've lost
control of my life. Itchy Lot says, I love how the Viking check gets faster and faster.
I saw this one Rugrats. I don't know if it was a meme or not, but like someone made it pointed out something about the Rugrats. Might want like an article or something, just saying like, does anyone ever notice how Stu had like a bad concussion and no one ever brain damage and no one ever like brought this up again? Like when he had the episode where he got hit in the head and he kind of became a baby, like a grown baby.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, we just kind of brushed that to the side, he's like
pretty much, yeah. I mean, you're right. That probably could be like long-term brain damage right there.
Maybe that's why he's just so not astute during these situations. He has like literally, it's like a blind spot.
I love how we're implying like all this continuity, like like how there's actually like an arc to his hatred of Angelica.
I mean, I think there's some evidence on that one. That's the thing. There's a little bit of evidence on that one. All right. So anyway, so Stu, he ends up having to swim with Angelica on his back.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, so this is kind of Stu getting a chance to kind of surf and do his water.
I tried to warn you.
Bumps his head again. More close head injury for Stu Pickles. But again, you're right. The pairing of these two is quite funny in their pursuit of the babies. But it's also like Angelica not being bratty to the. It's almost like those rare moments when Tom and Jerry got along, sort of thing. Where Angelica's kind of like aligned with the babies. But more so right now because she doesn't have to be saddled with them the whole episode. So she's kind of with Stu, and then she'll eventually be like teamed up with him for the third act. It's good. It's good shift in formula for our big vacation adventure. So we've made our way to the casino.
Yeah.
We had like filling a little, thinking the dice are candy, and they're like, oh, this candy's stale.
Like, let me ask you something about like your experiences with casinos as a kid. Okay, I'm curious to get your take on this. Were you like super self-conscious about the fact that like, oh, I'm not allowed to be here. I shouldn't technically be here. I need to get out of here. Yeah, you were.
It's the whole thing of like you're told like, hey, you're not supposed to be here. And like I'm walking, it's like, man, I don't know if I'm like I was like, it's literally like you almost look not the hot lava thing, but sort of like the thing of like if you step on that carpet, you're in
exactly the carpet. Yes, thank you. Because from what I remember, Dragon, in my experience as a kid in Reno, every casino would have like a path of carpet like down kind of like the middle, right?
Yep.
And then, like, you do not step off of that carpet onto the regular carpet.
Yep. Again, point there's like that sectioned off carpet. Like, you don't touch that carpet, man.
Right. I
just
vividly remember, like, I would always get super self-conscious about, like, oh, I do not want a security guard to approach my parents and be like, no kids in the casino. That was literally like my social anxiety nightmare, even as a child. All right. So you were too self-conscious to get on top of the wheel? Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, so Chucky running on the roulette wheel. We have the slot machine gag with Lou, where Tommy accidentally he falls, and he pulls.
You know what? There's a moment with Tommy where he's like looking up at Lou, like, "All right, my grandpa won. Good for him." I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a very quick moment, but I think it's super nice.
Yeah, so again, good old, Lou has got some luck here. He finds like a lucky penny, and Tommy helps, and he wins like the nickel jackpot. Wins like a boatload of nickels, which is great. Let's see.
Then Angelica spots someone on the stage trekking.
Yep.
You remember the name of this guy?
The name was, I don't know if it's just the YouTube video or not. The name was a little cut off. It was something. I mean,
I want to guess it's the Fabulous Eric.
Listen, I saw that. Oh, right. I saw the Fabulous. I was wondering if there's something other than just Eric, but yeah, so the Fabulous Eric. Yeah, so.
And this guy really is just like the epitome of like a sleazy lounge club singer in Vegas. Yeah. And I love the whole like conceit of like, in Angelica's mind, this dude might as well just be Elvis, right? Just because he is performing to a crowd. Yep. But in the reality of it is that this is probably like the diviest of dive lounge clubs, and no one around this man is probably even paying attention to him.
Yeah.
All right. Oh God! Imagine if the Vegas Adventure featured a part where the cats go to the heart attack grill. Do you know about the heart attack grill, Dragon?
No.
They it's very, very unhealthy, and let's just say they make you finish. And if you don't, you literally get paddled.
Wait, paddled?
As in spanked with a wooden paddle.
If you don't
finish, I'm not joking.
Like a steak, if you don't finish your steak, they're gonna.
No, Dragon. A steak is. I'm saying like it's called the heart attack grill for a reason. Like I'm saying, if there's a steak, then there's also going to be like at least 3 or 4 fatty items on top of the steak.
My point being the steak-based meal, the steak and whatever else there is. But yeah, so it's. Oh boy, that's crazy. It's like you know what they should do. Oh God. They should play the Dazed and Confused music when that happens. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So let's see. Anyway, so here's something with the casino design, which is not. I mean, this is a bit of a stretch, but I think for convenience's sake, and I mean, usually you would have to go outdoors for this sort of thing, but it's kind of like I think it's a cool leap. The fact that we've interconnected casinos here, not the rainforest per se.
Oh, that's actually not as I don't know how much of it was like this back when you went, but as of now, all the Vegas casinos are pretty much connected by walkways and stuff.
Well, here's the thing. So there's the Vegas Strip, and then you have the casinos, but they're all very close together. Like here's the thing. Admittedly, because I've gone to Atlantic City more than I have Vegas. Vegas went once. Atlantic City, I used to go regularly. Sadly, not anymore. But the fact is, one of them was more interconnected than the other. I guess per this, it probably was Vegas. But then again, all the Atlantic City ones are literally, if you go across the board, they're all like shoulder to shoulder next to each other. Just you can't like walk inside the casino from one point to another. But there's probably at least 1 or 2 casinos in Vegas that do have that effect. So this is probably based on that somewhat.
I know that in Reno, Circus and the Silver Legacy are connected.
That would make sense that maybe that design also was probably good. That thing is, there's a long walking distance, so it would stand a reason if the casinos are so close together, you could, in theory, walk between them. But I think still, like when I went to the Luxor from wherever I was, I did have to go outside, but not far.
It's 4:00 in the morning, Stu. Why are you being paddled by a waitress?
God. Oh God.
Okay.
See, out of context, it's gonna sound terrible. Anyway, let's see. So, okay. Point being, we kind of go from there, and we're going to make our way to the Circus from the Viking Hotel, and we can make our way
via a polar route.
Yes, the polar route with sleigh dogs.
And what I really do like about this plus the Viking ship is that it is pretty accurate that there are some really unique ways to get around in Vegas. Like, I know the Venetian gondolas. Can you think of anything else?
I think so. Again, I
know there's monorails.
Yeah, that is true. You do it. There is the monorail, which I think I took once. Monorail gondola. I mean, I guess technically. Oh yeah, they're obviously they're cabs too. Yeah, the cabs. The cabs are like the big kind of advertisements on the top of them. That's kind of like the big, like, kind of like triangle things. I mean, in Atlantic City, you have like the kind of like the rickshaw cabs. Where there's a guy on a bike who basically pedals and he takes you from point A to point because it's very
like
long.
Jonathan Penner.
Like what?
Jonathan.
Oh right,
Penner?
Yes, no, I remember now. Yes, like that, but they're pedaling a bike. But yeah, So essentially that they have the Atlantic City. Seriously,
I'm actually impressed that you remember that name.
No, I listen. With the moment you emphasize and I realize in context, yeah, that's him. That's the
yeah.
But yeah, the in Atlantic City, that's the thing they make. That's kind of like cabs on the boardwalk. Essentially, if you don't want to do all that walking all the way down to a certain casino or wherever you want to go, these guys will take you, but they'll charge you.
All right. This never occurred to me till just now, but there are no employees running the sled station.
Yeah. So let's see. So the baby's just kind of like they if only we had a ball, and you feel I was going to say this for later, and he tosses an orange, and the dogs go nuts for it, and they're mushing after it, and then we have Chaz and Howard, skiing. Basically, again, kind of like they're not David Hyde Pierce, but
I don't know. I think Chaz is about as close to that meme as we're going to say. Honestly,
David Hyde Pierce and Chaz Spencer. It's close.
Right.
Yep. Anyway.
I do think that Vegas actually has indoor skiing now.
I wonder if they had it then.
I want to say no, but I know that indoor like snow-based activities are pretty popular right now. All right.
Especially now in the summer, I'd imagine. Well, I guess in Vegas 24/7, but All right.
Honestly, the heat is like one of the major factors keeping me from going to Vegas now as an adult. All right.
So let's see. So then we have okay, let's see. So Lou's going with him. This is like he's telling Angelica like it was so cold once I had to sleep under a grizzly bear.
Oh God, like Leonardo DiCaprio. Well, I guess he didn't sleep under a grizzly bear. He just got mauled by a grizzly bear.
Well, we could say Olden Ehrenreich, but that was something a little more horrible than just sleeping under a grizzly bear.
Oh God, yeah.
Yep. Okay, let's see. So then we have the. Oh yeah. So Angelica has this bit where it says, "That's great, Grandpa Lou. Can I have some nickels?" She wants the money. She wants the money. All right, so the babies reach the circus, the Circus Gigantus. Meanwhile, Stu collides with Chaz and Howard. Because again, not listened to Angelica. Uncle Stu, this is not now, Angelica. Crash. All right, then we have the perennial Chucky versus the Clowns moment.
Yep, of course.
Clowns. It had to be clowns. All right, let's see. So, I tell you. All right, so Stu.
I also love how there's randomly like an Elvis impersonator in the circus act.
Tiki, there's always an Elvis impersonator in Vegas at all times.
I'm sure.
Let's see. So I did go to the Wax Museum too. I should mention that.
Oh, nice.
Did take pictures next to the Elvis on stage there. All right, so Stu is running after the kids and gets swept up in an acrobat act.
Mm-hmm.
The babies, they are, let's see, they're swinging on the elephant's tail, and then they kind of get hoisted to the side there, and then they team up with Angelica for the third act here. Angelica steals a clown car.
Yes. I think that clown car was another big nostalgic thing for me.
Let's be honest, Tiki. Let's just call something out the Rugrats. For some reason, it just kind of works. The kids in these little vehicles, whether it be like the Reptar wagon, it'd be like
Sure,
the clown car, or it'd
yeah.
be that like driving Miss Daisy episode of the Rugrats where Chucky had to be Angelica's limo driver.
Okay, Monkey says, I don't know how the hell that acrobat thought that Stu was part of the act.
Oh,
So
he does
let's
look
just
rather.
call out, like, I feel like the staffing in Vegas in this episode, just in general, is very poor, Dragon. Like, between the Vikings on the ship being so dumb that they're literally taking cues from the babies jumping on the drums, they're not even looking up to see, like, wait a minute, why are we going?
Well,
Like, why are we
that
going
one's
so
Rugrats.
far?
That one's Rugrats logic. You can give that one.
Sure. But then we point out that the bobsled is just completely unmanned, or not the bobsled, but the dog sled is completely unmanned. And
Oh, wait, what?
yeah, the acrobat. It's like seriously, that is definitely some Rugrats logic as well. That would never happen. Like, I thought you were part of the act.
Okay, one thing. It would be funny if maybe it is a bobsled, but all the dogs are named Bob.
That's funny.
Anyway, no, that's like we have like some things later on too, where it's like, man, that the service could have been nicer in Vegas.
Monkey says they should make a GTA where Grand Theft Auto where you play as Angelica in the clown car. That honestly sounds like a Rugrats video game, like a PS1 era game that they would actually make. It's just some sort of driving game with Angelica just driving around Vegas in that clown car. I could actually totally picture that.
Just to talk Rugrats nostalgia, I had like the PC game way back in the day of the Rugrats, where it was I think it was probably 2D, honestly, but it was yeah, you were as kind of the kids going on some adventure, and you have like them going to the kind of like it was kind of like, remember the episode where they kind of went to like a Home Depot, like the plant section of a Home Depot, which essentially was like the Indiana Jones parody where they're trying to like get medicine for Dill.
Mm-hmm.
So that, there was kind of like there's like a level of the game that's that, and then helping little duckies in the backyard. It's like, it's nice.
The Rugrats video game I remember was the N64 version of Rugrats in Paris.
That I did not have.
It was it wasn't a good game from what I remember, but as a kid, you did get to explore Reptar Land in 3D, and that was pretty damn cool. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Euro Reptar Land. My apologies.
Philistine. Anyway, so they sell Angelica on helping them out by saying, like, Angelica, we know if you're something better than stardom, you can be on TV. She's in. So they're driving around the strip. They're tearing up the strip as they're driving to the rainforest. Angelica's doing the tour guide comedy shtick. Here's something fun. Drew's coming out of like Sinatra's Blue Eye special.
Oh my god, yes. That does seem like something that Drew would do, right? Drew seems like out of the parents, he seems like the one that would be into the Rat Pack of it all.
Yeah, I mean, I would be too, honestly. The fact I would have enjoyed Vegas so much more now in adulthood, just getting Sinatra now, just looking back on it. But yeah, so the fact that we do
honestly, once the Halloween Horror Nights thing opens in Vegas, I might just have to make it down there. Honestly, I'm kind of holding out for that.
It's a little up in the air, but later on, I'm pretty sure is a direct Sinatra, is a deep cut Sinatra gag. But the fact that we have like a little bit of Sinatra in there, just given the fact he was so ingrained in what made Vegas big. Okay, let's see. So they run into Drew. He says, "My daddy," and they blow by. So again, Rugrats and little cars. It's a time-tested formula. It always works.
Also, we get the moms on the roller coaster as well.
Yes, and I think you hear something about Vegas. I'm sure you know, as you kind of alluded to earlier. Vegas is very well known for its roller coasters.
Well, honestly, yes. I mean, there are a few. I feel like they've gotten rid of a few. There used to be Speed the Ride, which was, from what I know, probably the best roller coaster Vegas ever had. That is no longer there. Obviously, the most famous one is the New York one, but that one is like notoriously rough and painful.
Yeah.
And then let's see, what others do they have? There's obviously the Adventure Dome one, which for my money, that's probably the one that I'd actually go out of my way. Well, I let's face it, if I go to Vegas, I'm doing the New York coaster.
Okay.
I hate to admit it, but I will.
Would you like? Go on.
The one in Circus is the one that I legitimately think would be actually one that I'd enjoy, though.
Okay. Would you?
Then there's also, do you know about Buffalo Bills?
No.
What?
No, I don't know about Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills is like a themed casino with a roller coaster like out front. And I believe it's kind of like on the outskirts of Vegas. I think if you're driving in from like Arizona. Anyways.
Anyway, yeah, so you want to hear kind of a fun mini tangent about the Vegas roller coasters?
Sure, I would love to.
Okay, so do you remember a classic CSI, right? You know, the one that was set in Vegas.
I mean, I never watched it, but yes, I know of it.
The point being, like that whole Gil Grissom, like the main lead character of the show, was like the boss of the crime lab and everything. He was on the scenes and everything. His shtick was he was an entomologist. He was into bugs. The study of bugs forensically and everything. But on the flip side, he personally he loved riding roller coasters.
Oh, that's great.
So they would I'm not saying every episode had a roller coaster thing, but especially in the early seasons, it would be a thing where like, hey, what do you want to do for fun? It ends up like him taking him on a roller coaster, or him like after something really bad happened, he'd go on that roller coaster, get his troubles away.
I mean, I don't think that's accurate because I don't think you would go on the New York roller coaster in particular. Literally, the only thing that thing's going to do for you is give you whiplash and a headache. But
he didn't go on that one specifically in the episode, but
also, there was a roller coaster at the top of the Stratosphere, but it is no longer there as well. So Vegas has gotten rid of a couple roller coasters over the years.
Let's see. So the Rainforest Casino Hotel. We have the adults catching on to the kids' plan of like, oh god, they're gonna. She kept mentioning the kitties, like, oh god, they're gonna mention. Oh god, they're gonna see the tigers. Let's see. So then we have them going trying to run into to the show to see.
I love this bouncer's design.
So this bouncer's design, I'm pretty sure, is a deep cut Sinatra reference to.
Is it?
Here's the thing. I think it's a reference to the fact that Sinatra surrounded himself with tough customers.
Okay, right.
I mean, honestly, just in general, with his crew and his manager and stuff, and so likely a bouncer. But this bouncer, I'm convinced the way he talks and everything, it sounds like he might be Jilly. Jilly is like Sinatra's main, like his kind of his, I don't know if purely his manager or not, but he was like the big kind of tough talking guy who would kind of manage Sinatra and like people around him and intimidate people.
That definitely sounds like a character in a Sinatra biopic.
So it sounds like Jilly, believe me, if they were doing something about Jilly has to be in the Sinatra biopic. So I'm just saying this guy's Jilly or Jilly-esque at least. He's Jilly adjacent.
Sure.
This giant Jilly-esque bounder is saying, "Where you going, Snow Bunny?" No one gets in without a ticket, and we have this. I tell you, man,
no one gets in after the doors are closed. The illusion.
God. Okay, so man, I love this. I love Lou Pickles to the rescue here.
Yeah, hell yeah,
So I remember this moment. I forgot how great this moment was. It's like my heart swells for that Lou Pickles character. It's like, he determines, like, he's picking family over gambling in his vacation goal. He just walks on over, plops on these bags and bags of nickels, saying 5 tickets, please, and make them snappy.
No, I will say that honestly, given Vegas's current pricing, I don't think those bags of nickels would pay for 5 tickets to like a big show like this.
But
I really
again,
don't.
It's 97, so
yeah.
Plus, I mean, they don't really get in with it anyway, so who knows?
Oh, I know.
Anyway.
I do think it's funny that I do like the gag that we set up where it's like they're trying to get in the legitimate way, and then the mothers just blow right past them through brute motherly force.
Absolutely, and even you see the bouncer getting intimidated that way too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. So we have the Heimlich and Bob show. So Heimlich's the showman. Bob he's kind of like not so much.
Can I just point out that always has kind of been what I imagined the dynamic with Siegfried and Roy was like? where it's like Siegfried, obviously with that name, it's like he's probably like the showboat, you know, and then Roy is he's just Roy, you know, he's just kind of there.
I can't talk about Siegfried and Roy without bringing up this. Tiki, do you remember Father of the Pride?
Of course, I remember Father of the Bride.
Good, just making sure.
That is another thing that we should probably cover at some point if we can ever actually find access to it.
Plus, there's like the donkey episode.
Well, I think the donkey episode in particular, if we had to cover one episode, that would probably be the one.
Plus, it was such a star-studded affair too. They had so many guest stars in that show.
And Goodman is the main character too.
Yeah. Anyway, so so they're hyping up the big. Okay, here's where I get into some real nostalgia here. So they hype up the disappearing. Basically going to disappear as there's going to be lowered into with the tigers, and they're going to appear. For some, I got them in retrospect. I don't really get this trick. Where it's like, why would they pop up in the milk though? I mean, why would they? It really seemed like the magicians like go to. It seems like, again, cruel as it was and as it would be, but again, back then it would have made sense. We're gonna make the tigers appear in the milk. But anyway, so I think it's the implication. Yeah, we're kind of mistreating the tigers. Putting them on for a show.
A little bit, yeah.
Kind of a blackfish on the strip sort of thing.
God.
Okay, let's see. So they're gonna reappear in the milk. So, fun fact: when I went to Vegas. I went to a magic show I believe at the Luxor.
You didn't go to the magic show, did you?
What do you mean by the magic show?
Like Siegfried and Roy?
No, that's the thing. It was a year after T. So
okay.
So it was in 04.
Oh right, you said that. Yeah.
Either way, it was 04, 05. They weren't a thing. So I went to the Lance Burton magic show. This guy's good. Lance Burton.
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to the show and I was picked in the crowd. I was
really? Oh my god.
Yeah. I was brought up on stage.
Oh my god!
Tricks, and then he made me disappear.
Okay, can you reveal how he did it?
No.
Fair enough.
He made me promise there not to tell him.
That is totally fair. All right.
Yeah, so I disappeared in a white Corvette.
That's awesome.
Even
That's
got a T-shirt. Even got a T-shirt I have framed with the silver
dollars. Amazing, dude.
So it's like I disappear with Lance Burton in a white Corvette. Anyway, so let's see. Okay, point B, we hype up the magic trick. Then the babies and the catwalks. They see, catwalks. They see the big kitties and Tommy. He's getting a little. He's getting second. He second guesses himself here, which is so rare. It's like, yeah, they are.
Yeah, no, this is a rare moment of self-reflection for him, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, look, this kid's brave, but still, he's a baby. He's like 1 year old. I mean, we never age him up until all grown up, really. So it's like a year and a half old at most. So basically, he's bidding again. E.G. Daily just summing up all the feels, just saying, "Bye, kitties. Sorry we couldn't save you."
And then the cat, of course, just looks at him like with the puppy dog eyes, the clawed at the cage.
Yeah, the paw up. It's like, oh god, it's so heartbreaking. But again, it's so funny. Man-eating machines, but really cuddly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's up to us to get him out. We're gonna get him out, and they all team up like, yeah, we're gonna do it. So how the heck are we gonna get him out without being seen? So they all infiltrate the magic act. They'll fall in these animal themed boxes, following Angelica's lead. Angelica's in with the bunnies.
Also, Monkey pointed out at the beginning that he likes how this thumbnail, like, it looks like the magicians are actually happy to have her in the act.
Yeah, they haven't.
Oh.
They get so angry, by the way, during this.
They really do. I mean, honestly, Dragon, I feel like this episode probably contributed to my childhood anxiety about adults in casinos because, not just them, but the lounge singer too. It's like they're all like, "Fuck these kids on my stage," you know.
I think we feel lounge singers like Joe was ripping the mic from his hand.
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So we have the magic act going on here, and then we have we open the box. We're going to tap our hands 3 times. Behold the fabulous Angelica.
And then we hit. The reprise.
Yep, of her singing the song and everything on the screen, the neglectful moms.
I do love the shot of the mom seeing her on the screen and then just booking it.
Yep, just horrified, and they run to the street. I'm gonna throw shade at Dee Dee as I'm wont to do.
Yes, you've been known to do that
already. Just before we get to the big moment for us, before that is like, looks at the screen, she gets the broadest reaction. It's Charlotte's kid, Dee Dee. Okay, don't have.
I did notice. I did take mental note of that, Dragon. I did take mental note of that. Yeah.
Right now, you're making the problem worse, Dee Dee. You're just making everyone freak out. I think the smart parent, at this juncture, would be like, "Oh, look, my daughter's on TV. That's quaint."
I don't know about that though, because you do see the magicians clearly chasing after her.
Yeah, you're right. I'm trying to think when they initially saw her, was she being chased? Or was she singing?
She was.
I don't know if she's being chased in the outset, though, when they saw it in that reaction shot. But you say she, point.
No, it is. I'm looking at it right now. She is.
Okay, that's the thing. So, but eventually, yes, it'll be. Oh God, there's some bad's gonna my kids. She's gonna be thrown out her, basically taken to a back room and beaten by.
Pretty much, yeah.
They're gonna give her.
Which again contributed to my childhood anxiety about not being welcome in casinos.
I really wish you would watch The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. There's a really funny gag where they go to they perform in casinos for a bit in season 3, and the Alex Borstein character, she's terrified of. She basically glimpses a backroom sort of thing, casino. You're gonna cheat me, and he's basically beating the guy up. She's very. The guy loves her, but it's oh hey, is there something wrong with the check that we get? No, check's fine. In fact, I think I owe you money. He's no, let's fix that. It's really funny. Anyway,
that's definitely one of those shows that if the strike gets. I mean, I know I need to check it out anyways, but I'm kind of banking on it being one of those shows that I can have for if the strike gets bad.
It's already bad.
Yes, I know. I'm just saying if the content drought gets bad.
The content drought's already bad.
We're not quite there yet, Dragon. It's gonna get bad once they move Dune, okay? That's gonna be the end times.
Alright, anyway. So anyway, all the babies are in different animal themed boxes that get open as we do the reprise of Vacation here, where Tommy's got a puppy. Phil's got a monkey, Lil's got the birds, and Chucky's got the skunk.
Which, of course, has to be a reference to that episode.
Well, it's funny. Chucky's getting sided with skunks twice, because you had
that's what I'm saying, yeah.
And you had the other episode where Chucky was a superhero. It was it was the stinker.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. So what are the writers saying about poor Chucky? We can't give this kid a break. We're gonna have a heartbreaking Mother's Day episode. We're gonna say they stinks. Anyway, let's see. So there's a crossover for you. Charlie Brown meets Chucky.
Oh my God! Yeah, I could picture that.
The cutest thing ever. All right, so we have a lot of mayhem with animals running wild on the stage. The moms bowl over the security guard. I call BS on the dads unable to get those tickets after Lou. Just get them snappy. This is the staff in Vegas. Not helpful at all during this.
Well, again, we already established that by and large, the staff in Vegas in this episode is not on their A game.
No, they are not. All right, let's see. So it's pandemonium. Anyway, so Tommy gets up to the cage. He's got the screwdriver, which again you got to question the design principle in the Rugrats universe. It's okay, so the screwdriver is a cure-all for any lock. It's this master lock pick.
More or less, yeah.
It's a plastic screwdriver.
It's not even a real screwdriver, right? It's like you said, it's just a plastic one. Yeah.
Think about it. Okay, the logic of so Tommy has a screwdriver that can basically it's thin enough to fit through the gate and unlatch the little very simple latch to unlock. He's not actually picking a lock; he's just lifting the thing, which makes sense. But this is an actual high grade lock to keep an animal caged. It's a buy. Anyway, so Dee Dee, she finally wakes up to good parenting for a change.
So you do think this is a good parenting moment? I was wondering if you'd somehow find a way to twist it, Dragon.
Well, I mean, look, heroic as it may be, it's still Dee Dee, you had to know something like this was going to happen. All right, just knowing the shenanigans your babies get into on a regular basis, especially when left to the devices of their father, And it's like, honestly, I look at it as a heroic moment, but I still look at it as like, Dee Dee, even if you get one, it's like, I don't know, man. Just you go there. The fact that you let it get this far to your kid is going to be in that position. The fact that you haven't broken him of this screwdriver habit by now, It's the fact that he got that close to being mauled to death by a tiger. At a certain point, like these things, you just got to look at her parenting. It's like, what am I doing? Well, I'm reading all these books. I got nothing. All right. So she swings, does like the Carol Burnett Tarzan yell practically, and saves Tommy at the last second. Again, I don't buy she has the physical prowess to do that. By the way,
Of course you don't. Of course you don't.
okay, admittedly, there's a lot of ill will towards Dee Dee on that one, but look, the moment itself, it's a nice look. It's a nice heroic
You don't
moment.
think she has the physical prowess to like put one foot in front of the other and walk?
I mean, we've seen her fall a lot, though, Tiki.
Oh God,
Yeah, she's fallen a lot. Okay, regardless, look, it's nice to give her. It's a good moment. I don't think it's earned, but it's a good moment.
Right.
All right, let's see. So it's a little late, Dee Dee, but nice,
Oh, God.
I guess.
Speaking of late, Monkey says since Tarzan is somehow involved, my new headcanon is that it's somehow Dee Dee's fault that the Adventureland Treehouse is taking so long. Seriously, Dre, it's been over. It's been over a year since they announced that. Like, what the fuck is going on with that Adventureland Treehouse? I'm just saying. Anyways,
It's going to be a big reveal next year, I'm sure. Or maybe the strike's delayed thing somehow. I'm going to tell you what. The reason it's taking so long is they've abandoned that plan. They're building the next gen version of Chippendale's Treehouse.
oh my God, don't joke with me about that shit.
They're gonna theme it to the Rescue Rangers movie.
Yes, hell yes. Oh my God, that would actually be incredible.
And the little gift shop area next to it, where you can have like little Indiana Jones hats and jackets and stuff. And,
I will still maintain that I think the correct use of that that real estate would have been extended queue space for Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm sorry. As much as a new walkthrough attraction is going to be nice, a full-blown, like, proper queue space for Pirates would be nicer instead of just having that line just spill out all over New Orleans Square. Anyways.
All right, so we have this great bit where Lou's like saving the kids by tossing nickels gleefully at the magicians.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So yeah, show those Vegas folk what's going on, Lou. Yeah. Anyways, then we have the parental reunion of parents and child and everything, and like Chaz grabbing Chucky and everything. It's like, yeah, look at that reunion, isn't that nice? And then Lou's dancing on the table like a happy-go-lucky prospector throwing his bounty.
Pretty much, yeah.
Let's see. So the Tigers, they've now been freed somehow by the plastic screwdriver, and they're growling at Heimlich.
And this is the Simpsons collar tug moment right at the very end.
It's like, okay, if we cut the credits. So Heimlich and Bob, they are scared and they end up in the milk vat. Which, I mean, ultimately, the thing that bugs me at the writing of this episode is like, I don't think they should have been said like we're going to end up in the milk vat. It should have been like, oh, we're going to appear like here, and the Tigers are going to end up in the milk vat, and then they ended up in the milk vat as their comeuppance. That's what I think should have happened. But anyways, they trip and fall into the milk vat, I guess, unceremoniously losing their toupees and everything, especially Lou throwing the coins at one of them, revealing that toupee.
Mm-hmm.
They used the two. I realized something with the Rugrats. They've used that toupee gag like a lot. But remember
they have. Yeah.
Like,
that is a go-to thing for the Rugrats. You're right.
I'll give them credit though. I forgot. I forget if the Lou episode came first when we had him like with Morgana. But aside from Morgana, we had that news lady in the whole recycling episode, and she was like, "Is that a bald lady?"
Mm-hmm.
Rare. So anyway. Let's see. So the Tigers are growing. Heimlich and Bob, they end up in the milk. They're angry at the babies there. They trip in the milk vat. The Tigers are licking all the milk that's on the stage. And okay, it's a big logic thing. And it's like, okay, we had some good parenting on Dee Dee, and like, no, I'm gonna let my infant child pet the tiger.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Even if it's one step forward, Dee Dee, ultimately it's going to 2 steps
Oh my
back.
God, dude! You are never gonna give this woman a break.
I don't think so.
I love it.
Anyway, regardless though,
I'd be curious if you rewatched All Grown Up if you had any Dee Dee hot takes in that show.
Anyway, It's the fact that all the babies are petting tigers, which is cute, but it's like it's really dangerous, especially
Especially given, yeah.
Also, just given the fact that we had a bit where, okay, why did Dee Dee save her child from these tigers, and what are they doing now? It was an awfully big leap. What happens when they finish the milk?
Right.
Let's see. So, point being, end of the day, everyone got what they want on vacation. It's the bestest vacation a baby ever had, except for the clowns, says Chucky.
And then I got to admit, I'm not really a fan of like, hey, and skunk again for some reason, because yeah, the skunk was like a really big part of the episode that we need to remind people of.
Yeah, we have Angelica with the "That's all, folks" kind of wrap up.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that too. I forgot about that. You dumb babies. That was fun. All right. So I mean, obviously, final thoughts, Dragon. Like we blew through this pretty quickly. Like this is just mad nostalgia, man. This is like if they were to like package nostalgia and sell it as a drug, it would be this episode.
Yep, give me some orange kilos of nostalgia, please.
Pretty much.
Look at these bricks. They're shaped like VHS tapes.
Oh God.
You flip it open, and like now they are making a bunch of products and like Funkos and stuff in VHS tape packages.
Well, I know that Disney was doing the VHS tape thing. I'm pretty sure it was like purses or something.
Well, they have purses.
Do you remember what they were selling VHS? Like, I know they have like a Lion King VHS tape thing they were selling at the Adventureland Bazaar. I forget exactly what it was.
I've seen 3 VHS tape things. You got the purses, you have the Christmas ornaments, and the big thing they have now is recently, I saw on Hot Topics somewhere. They have like these little Funkos that are inside VHS tapes that look really cool. They had the Toy Story VHS tape and the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh my God, dude.
Suffice it to say, I want that.
Of course.
Yes.
All right. Any other final thoughts here?
I mean, look, final thoughts. Again, man, this held up tremendously well. Again, held up tremendously well. Admittedly, though, has the added layer of the 20 years after Siegfried and Roy thing. But again, that was always
what? Like, it was before that happened, so I can we can joke about that.
Yeah,
I can give the episode a pass on it.
If anything, I think that adds to it. I'm not saying it takes anything away from it. I'm just saying it's like, hey, there's a little added little layer there.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I love this episode. It does fill you with kind of like the vacation kind of nostalgia of your youth. I mean, especially for me, given I actually went to this to Vegas. And I don't know, it was fun. It also makes me nostalgic for that VHS tape. We had him go to Vegas and go to the Grand Canyon. Go miniature golfing. I don't know. It's a boatload of fun. It's nice and simple. And the baby's going to go see the tigers and the shenanigans that happen along the way and the familiar, ever lovable tourist trappings of Vegas.
All right. Dragon, should we just tell him what the last one is? Do you want to tell him?
Do you?
I kind of want to, yes, especially because Richard's Victims is in the comments.
Go tell him.
All right, Richard's Victims, this last one is just for you, buddy. We're doing Full House Goes to Disney World as our grand finale. Genuinely, I'm pretty stoked about this, especially because I am stoked to just get in there and dissect the hell out of the geography inaccuracies. But no, I mean, Michelle's gonna get lost, Dragon. She's gonna get lost. All right. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, big thanks to Miscellaneous, Itchy Lot Production, Richard's Victims. Like, no! All right, yeah, big thanks to Richard's Victims, Itchy Lot Productions, Miscellaneous, Code Geass, I believe that's it. You guys are awesome. Great show. All right, have a good one, folks. See you later. Will you be paying with credit or pig?
Plastic or pig?
Plastic or pig. That was the line I was looking for.